Good morning, everyone. Give me 1 second here. Just want to check something. Make sure that, okay, we are showing up. Okay, all right. So good morning. We are here with Archana Gupta, and I'm pretty, I might need another cup of coffee this morning. So just letting everybody know that we're going to keep this short, but I am super excited to introduce Archana, and she is one of our WiseMind Soul Warrior mentors, and she is a beautiful soul sister and a wellness and yoga entrepreneur. And so, Archana, if you want to take a moment to just share just briefly of how we kind of connected, like what brought you to WiseMind Soul Warrior, and how your experience has been as a mentor so far. And then we'll kind of get into asking some other questions. And if you want to share a short snippet about your story of, what brought you to yoga.
So I'm Archana Gupta, and I met Jenny through Facebook. She was having a lot of the ads ads for the Wise Mind,
The
the
challenges.
5 day the
Yep.
5 day challenge and
Mhm.
everything. And so I attended all 5 days, and I was really I just felt a connection.
Mhm.
So I contacted her, and here I am.
Here you are. And this has been about 2 years later, because that was
Yeah,
in 2020. So we were in the middle of starting the pandemic then.
exactly.
Remember? And I
Yeah.
remember, like, when we built the mastermind online, yeah, we were at the beginning of the global pandemic. So that's really interesting, the timing of here we are, 2 years later, still in the pandemic.
Exactly.
So,
And that's like,
so
I feel like I got through the pandemic because of Wise Mind Yoga, and there we go.
all the things. And your
Yeah.
nails are beautiful, by the way. I can see your nails. So
Oh, thank you.
Um, so tell us just a little bit about your experience so far of being a mentor for the program and what that's been like.
So, my experience with being a mentor has been very positive. Um, I have created a relationship with all of the people that I'm mentoring, and they feel comfortable in reaching out to me when they have a question. I feel comfortable in calling them or texting them or whatever when
Mhm.
when I'm trying to get clarification on something.
Mhm.
And it's been a very positive experience for me, and I hope my mentees.
Yeah, and I would agree that definitely it's been a positive experience. I know everyone that I have talked to loves you, and they've had a great experience. And Lindsay is one of them. Lindsay's like an amazing student, but she's also an amazing cheerleader. And she is just one of those women that, like you, wants to lift everybody up, and
Mhm.
wants to support. And so, yeah, I mean, they're all cheerleaders of yours, but Lindsay has been, I know you guys have been able to connect.
Yes.
So, with the mentor program, and I'll talk a little bit about this, you will have the opportunity to work with multiple mentors that we have in place on our team. And you'll be able to practice meditation, guided meditation, breath work. We're going to be bringing in some different asana pieces as well,
Mhm.
where that's part of the Yoga Alliance certification, is that you're practicing with a mentor. And that's part of any YTT program. So for those of you that listen to the replay on this, or that you're listening right now, any YTT program that you are a part of, if you are wanting to get a certification, you have to practice. Okay. There is a practicum part of it. So I had to explain this to some folks that have never been in a YTT program, because part of the practice is obviously you have to have a practicum, just like if you're a counselor, right? You have to have a practicum, or being a doctor, right? So whatever it is, you need to practice, right? What you're going to get certified in. And then the other part of it is, it's really, really a beautiful thing that happens, is that you get an opportunity to be outside of your comfort zone, right? So you're going to hear me talk about this, and our mentors talk about this, that in order to grow, you have to be able to step outside your comfort zone, right? In order to live your purpose, in order to lead, in order to teach, you have to be able to step outside your comfort zone. And so Archana and I are stepping outside our comfort zone right now by being on this live. Okay, so this is where we, live our yoga off the mat as well, that we are stepping outside of our comfort zone, right? So I remember the very first training I was in, and my teacher telling me that. And so we'll continue to talk about that, right? That there is no growth within your comfort zone, right? So
Right.
I just wanted to share that for a moment for those of you that are listening that are not familiar with YTT, and you're like, well, why do I have to practice? Now, we do have some women in the program that are not choosing to practice, and they are going through from a personal development perspective. A lot of them, they're corporate women or business owners, and they are not going through for the certification. Even though a majority of the women are, there are some that have chosen not to do the practices, and that's fine. So it's just that they want to have a certification, and they're good with that. So Archana, tell us a little bit about your journey of what brought you to yoga, and what what the experience has been like, and kind of some of your experience, like as a corporate person, and a little bit of your background of kind of your pre-life before, you are where you are now.
Okay. So, when I was a teenager and in college and post-college, I used to practice yoga strictly from a fitness aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was like the sweatier I got, the faster I moved, the more aerobic workout I got,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, yeah, I got a really good workout. Like 10 years ago, I went to rehab.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I've been sober. And I learned about mind, body, breath, which is yoga. But, at the time, I always had this thing that yoga was just an exercise. But
Mm-hmm.
in rehab, I learned about yoga from more of the health benefit aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started practicing pretty regularly when I got out of rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got certified to teach kids yoga because I love kids, and I've got the personality that kids like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went for my YTT, and when the pandemic started, I saw Jenny on Facebook, and just what she said, or what you said, really resonated with me. So I got on a phone call with you, and we made it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should I talk about the payment too?
Sure. I mean, you can just share, like, for example, when I worked with Archana, and I've done this with many other students, and I've had recent conversations as the consultations have started, over the past week, where I just had, multiple conversations with people about setting up different payment plans and different things, because I did that for Archana as well in her program. So the idea is, our process is doing a consultation call. The main reason why we do that as part of the application process is to make sure that we're a good fit, and that they're ready, mentally, emotionally, to step into this type of transformation, right? So that's really the main reason, is to have that consultation, to answer any questions. And a lot of students, this is not a requirement, but just to give you an example, there might be a lot of students that maybe have done therapy or they've done other types of coaching and they're wanting to go deeper into their transformation. And this really resonates to take that next step. Or we have other students that maybe they've not done any kind of therapy, but this type of work, this yoga psychology and yoga therapy type work is really resonating for them. And so I answer those types of questions. And then, is it a good fit? Are they ready, to step into this? Now, knowing that you're never 100% ready, right? Sometimes you have to step into it when you're not ready. But is the timing and alignment? And if it is, I can always tell that on a call, and I can tell when it's not. Does that make sense? So if it's in alignment, then we'll talk about the financial part, and we'll walk them through the different options of paying in full or payment plans. And there's too many of those for us to put on a page, which is why we don't do that. Because as I mentioned, like I did with Archana, I've worked out, special payment plans for many students. And so there's just too many of those to put on a consult page or on a page. So I'm going to put the page actually here in the comments. It's wisemindsoulwarrior.com. And for those of you who have not looked at the page yet, there it is. And there is multiple places throughout the page that you can click on to book a consult call. Now, I did want to mention that I do have time carved out today until like 9 o'clock tonight. Okay. And the reason we're doing that is because we have this short window of the special bonuses that we're offering, and it expires Monday at midnight Pacific time. And the biggest kind of trigger for that, and why we've had people already join, we actually have like 3 spots out of that, the bonus, because it's for the first 10 people, and it's by Monday at midnight. So if you're really considering this, I would invite you to set up a call, because that's why I've scheduled time this weekend. So obviously you can schedule it tomorrow. As long as you can schedule it, by tomorrow, we're good. And I will kind of accept that there's some people that schedule it by today or tomorrow, say by Tuesday. But as long as you can get it booked, but as many people that can, like if you have availability today, go to my schedule and book it, because it is filling up. Like, I'm not just saying that, like, I'm so grateful to be even sharing that, but it is filling up. So I put the link in the comments. So Archana, as far as like the structure of the program, working with the learning management system, the way that we do, the live coaching and teaching in the Facebook group, can you kind of share a little bit your experience with that, what that has been like, and, the feedback that you've gotten, which for me has been all positive. So
you always do a Facebook Live every week.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I like about that Facebook Live is that we can interact, like through text. We can interact.
Mm-hmm.
And you respond to everybody. Like every single comment that people type in, you respond or you say it or whatever. So that's huge, because that gives that person some sort of validation that somebody is looking at what they're writing. Right. The other thing is that I really like the LMS, because there have been times, especially last summer/fall, when I couldn't attend regularly because my father was ill, and I could go back and watch it, and it was just like being on, not just like, because you can't type in your questions, but it was very similar to being live on a call and like getting all the information. And then the LMS has a lot of like useful handouts and worksheets, and it's the place where you go to get anything you need regarding this program. Right. And if I can't get it through there, I send you an email.
Right.
And
Right.
you always respond within like an hour.
Well, the thing too to mention with the learning management system is we also have it set up really easy with like the 6 different modules. We have it
Right.
set up for, 5 weeks for each module. We also have a checkbox that you can print out. So each module has its own like checkbox, like it's a 1 to 2 page where you can check off to make it easier to follow. You can download it, print it out. We also have the module or the manual broken up by module as well. So you can
Right.
download it or you can print it out by module, which makes it easier because it is about 150 pages per module. It's close to probably almost 1,000 pages at this point. You're not expected to read all that. It's meant to be a resource. So don't let that scare you. We'll tell you the parts that are important that you need to know and the parts that we're doing the videos on teaching you, the stuff that's important. Like if it's on the psychology of the chakras or the koshas philosophy, or learning the pranayamas or whatever it is, you will know what's important to know. And you'll have individual handouts that will be connected to each video. We also have 5 sadhanas, which is guided meditation, mantras, mudras, chanting, connected with each sadhana. So you've got 5 sadhanas per module. So you've got 30 sadhanas. And then an asana is a separate video, and that's a slow flow to yin, most of those, and some of them are all yin. And that's a separate video, and you have 30 of those as well. Now, in addition to that, there's bonus yoga classes. And with those, I believe it's close to, I don't know, total, it might be 60 classes. I don't even know off the top of my head, because you also get access to the retreats that we've done in the past and the
Right.
recordings of those, which is also huge. And all the classes that we've done in those retreats as well that we taped live. So the other thing I wanted to mention or you to share that I think is important is going back to the consultation. So if you could take a moment to share, what is it like getting on a call with me for people that have never, like how you were in 2020, you had never met me, right? We just got on a call and I know you felt connected to me and what I was sharing and teaching was resonating for you. And obviously I'm somebody who's sincere. I'm somebody that cares about my students, but for someone that doesn't know me, can you share what that experience was like getting on a consult with me?
Sure. Getting on a consult with you was very, I was kind of nervous before I got on the consult because
Mm-hmm.
just, just let me get on a little sidetrack.
Yeah, that's fine.
Before that, at that point, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, get on a consult call with us. Get on a consult calls. Get it." So I went on a couple of consult calls, consult, not consult. Anyways, um, I went on a couple of calls and they
Yeah.
were so aggressive, like totally aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talked to you, and I had basically said that I'm not going to do any more of these.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw you talking like in your 5-day mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I could really get on board with learning more from this lady. At that time, you
Mm-hmm.
were this lady. So, you know, and talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
it really, because you had been through kind of the same thing as with corporate burnout and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like a connection. And when I feel and the thing is, it's like I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character. So when I
Mm-hmm.
feel a connection with somebody, I tend to want to move things forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the time, I was not working, and so I was being supported financially by my parents because I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been working for 7 years. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to go through the back and forth of the whole thing. but since I have come on board and I am now going through the program, and actually I'm living my life the way that you have talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in a very different place in my life now. Like I feel I feel a lot calmer. I feel a lot more grounded than I did
Mm-hmm.
when we first started talking.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell too, the difference. And that makes me so happy to hear that. It brings me so much joy and so much gratitude. And you've heard me talk about this, and I'll continue to talk about it because without me getting emotional or, I'm getting goosebumps like talking about it, that it's such a joy. I mean, I talked to Anita about this on Friday.
Mhm.
It's such a joy and such a privilege and an honor, really, to sit back like a mama bear, like a maternal mom, or, like that maternal part of me, to be able to sit back and watch you guys grow and watch you guys shine and transform and heal. I mean, it's such a gift on my end as a teacher, really, to be able
Okay.
to stand back and watch it. I mean, really, it's in all sincerity, without me getting emotional, because I have watched you and every single student, whether it's been 2 years we've been working together, 4 years, a year, because there's a broad range of, like Anita, I've known for like 7 years, for
Mhm.
example. I've known you for over 2 years. Like, just to watch, or even somebody like Lindsay, I just met a year ago, and to watch her transformation. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, because it truly is an honor and a privilege as a teacher, to be able to stand back and watch the transformations happening, and watch people step into like their leadership roles or their purpose, and to like be in full confidence and to love themselves, and to, like you said, to live the things that we're teaching, like to practice, like, the calm. And I can see that in you. I can see you're calmer and you're more grounded, and you're able to handle more things happening at once. And that's a process, right? That's a
Yeah.
lifelong journey for every single one of us, right? Healing and transformation, and this shadow work and yoga psychology work and yoga and all of it, mindfulness, it's a lifelong journey. It's every day is an opportunity to practice it and embody it, right?
Right.
That's when it's a practice, right? So,
Yeah.
and we practice forgiving ourselves. We practice mindful self-compassion. We practice not judging ourselves, being gentle, loving ourselves unconditionally, non-judgment. So all the things I've been talking about all week, that is what we teach in the program. And that is the biggest gift that you can give to you and anybody else, whether you're working with students, you're working with clients, it's your family, it's your
Mhm.
kids, for those of you that are moms, it's your partner, for those of you that are in a romantic relationship, husband, whatever it is. Like, it's the biggest gift that you can give, is
Right.
your own unconditional love. When you truly unconditionally love yourself and you accept all the imperfections, and you also have a true sense of confidence, that it's not a fake sense of confidence. You're not fake it till you make it. You
Yeah.
truly are accepting who you are at your core, and your strengths and your gifts, and you're living it, right? So
Yeah.
you've heard me
And
talk about this for years, and I'll continue to, but go ahead.
yeah, the thing about this program is, initially when I was starting to teach yoga,
Hmm.
I was like, oh, I'm going to go after the big ticket people, and I'm going to teach like these neurotic people yoga. And then, I love
Hmm.
kids. And like last year, I started to focus more on teaching kids and teens yoga.
Hmm.
And I was doing privates with the older people. And I'm so much happier. Like, so it's kind of like, it's you weigh you weigh what is good and what is not good. And
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm leaning more towards the kids slash teenagers
Mm-hmm.
because I really feel like I can connect well with kids. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
because I have a kid voice. Um, but I feel a connection with them and
Mm-hmm.
they feel a connection with me.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of fun, even teaching on Zoom with
Mm-hmm.
kids. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun because you know they don't have any errors or, oh, am I going to look stupid doing this? Or so you can just have them doing whatever crazy thing you want them to do, and they do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Well, I did want to share with everybody, I think, well, a couple things. One, I just want to mention again that Archana has a corporate background, and part of her transformation has been moving away from a corporate background and clearly, obviously, teaching yoga and also, working one-on-one with clients that she started doing and the wellness and yoga entrepreneur journey that she's on as far as like running her own business. And so she also got burned out in corporate the same way that I did. And we each have different stories, but for me, it was depression, anxiety, insomnia, and having to take time off of work, which as a recovering workaholic and perfectionist was huge for me. Like I was forced into that awakening and I was forced into trying to find things that worked for me that were not medications because medications don't work for me. So that was part of my story and part of what we actually teach in the program for those
Mhm.
of you that want to step into wellness or yoga entrepreneurship, whether you're a yoga teacher or coach. I actually talked to a nurse on Friday who wants to add this. She's actually a wellness coach and an RN. And so the point is, we have a whole module where we talk about the business of yoga. We're talking about branding yourself, marketing. How do you market online? How do you launch programs online? So we're going to go even to more depth. So as far as investing, for those of you that are like looking to grow your business or start your business online, this is an investment in that because you're going to get every amount back that you invest in this when you create your own programs, which is what we're going to be teaching you to do. And the biggest part of it is that remember, 80% of a successful business and a successful entrepreneur is your psychology, and 20% is strategy. So we will take you through the shadow work that you need to do, like letting go of perfectionism, letting go of workaholic, letting go of the taskmaster, the imposter syndrome that says, who do you think you are to get on the live? Who do you think you are to teach yoga? Who do you think you are to do these things, right? And to get away from comparison with other people because you are 100% unique and there's nobody else like you. So we want to be able to teach you, how do you tell your signature story and how do you share that with other people that will resonate with your strengths and with your strengths and also with your particular story. Just like Archana shared that she has a corporate background, she struggled as an alcoholic in the past. So she's going to resonate right with different types of women, but then also she's learned a lot that she's teaching now to teens. So the point is, like, we want you to be able to really tune into, again, your authentic self and your strengths and your genius zone. So I just want to mention that for those of you on here that are yoga teachers or entrepreneurs that are looking to grow your business online. Let me see. Anything else? I'm trying to think. We talked about the consultation. We talked about the LMS. If
Uh,
Go ahead.
no, there was something I was gonna say, but now I can't. I can't remember what it was. Um, but that happens with me a lot. Like,
It's okay. Well, I did want you to say um, for those students that are watching this right now or watch the replay, if you were going to tell someone, working with me personally, what I'm like as as a teacher to work with as a person, also what the program has been like, um, and they're considering getting on a consultation call or joining us, for those of them that watch that have done a consult with me already, what would you recommend to them, especially if, they're getting ready to book a consultation? What would you tell that person?
Well, I highly recommend this program to anybody. It's not just for people who are stressed out or burnt out or whatever. It really helps you to learn about why you think the way you do. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole genetic aspect and, family of or there's a whole history behind why you think the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, I don't know, I have found that it's helped me become more grounded
Mm-hmm.
and become more purposeful in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that I know what I want to do now and I don't question um my decisions about stuff. And now I remember what you had said, that I was trying to think of what the
Okay.
response was. You had said something about uh thinking about like what other people are saying and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I shouldn't say one thing. I've learned a lot of things from you, but I now really block out the external noise,
Mm-hmm.
and I just stay in my lane. That's a rehab term. So it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
you do what you need to do, you turn off all the other stuff that's trying to
Mm-hmm.
get into your lane,
Mm-hmm.
and you just focus on what you need to focus on. And so I learned that when I was in rehab, but going through this program has really
Mm-hmm.
reinforced that for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm a huge advocate of stay in your lane.
Yes, absolutely. Um, I would agree with that 100%. And I think also we teach a lot about having accountability, right? So, not just like you said, staying in your lane, but also being accountable and being empowered, right? So, being accountable for your own healing, right? That no
Mhm.
matter what's happened in our life, no matter what trauma that we've gone through, it's still our responsibility and we're accountable for our own healing. And we are accountable for not projecting our hurt onto other people. So
Right.
that's another thing too. And the other thing is like being empowered, right? That we can choose our choice or choose our thoughts and we can choose our emotions. And a big part of this program is also learning emotional regulation skills. And so that's like the psychology part of it. And that's been part of my journey is when I was struggling with burnout is I did cognitive behavioral change and I learned like how do I change my thoughts? Because
Mhm.
everything starts with a thought, right? Our whole thought, emotion, behavior patterns. So if we can start to manage our thoughts, our toxic thoughts, our inner critic voice, our mean girl, and not allowing that to come in and to be able to learn to redirect it, right? So you've heard me teach this many times, right? You're coming up to a
Mhm.
stop sign and you turn right. This is the neuron pathway that's been created in the subconscious mind, right? I'm not enough. I don't do enough. I'm not smart enough. Whatever it is, the enoughness, right? Or whatever the trauma story is,
Mhm.
that through meditation, through breath work, through asana, through yoga therapy, through journaling, all the things that we teach you, many, many, many different tools, mantras, chanting, all
Mhm.
different, many things, right? There's no one thing. It's all a blend of many different things that we're reshaping the psyche. We are shifting the psyche. You can imagine like a stop is like we're like stopping and you're at that stop sign and then you start making a left turn and this is creating that new neuron pathway, a new behavior, right? So instead of beating myself up, instead of self-sabotage, instead of inner mean girl all day long, toxic thoughts, we start to love ourselves. We start to be gentle with ourselves. We start to have compassion, non-judgment. We speak
Mhm.
to ourselves non-judgmentally. And I'm here sharing this, Archana, because we ask people this on a scale of 1 to 10, how loud is your inner critic voice? And you can relate to this, I know too, that mine was off the charts. And many
Yeah.
people say that it's off the charts. But now for me, it's more like a 5, if that, because I have spent all these years retraining my brain. And so that
Mhm.
is why, and I've done the soul work, right? I've done the shadow work. So I've healed my heart chakra and I've reprogrammed my brain. And so that's why I'm so passionate about this, the science and the soul, is because when you blend those two things together, healing and transformation is possible. And I'm a walking testimony of that, because not only have I healed my inner critic, but I also am the calmest that I've been in my whole life.
Okay.
I'm like recovering, like workaholic, a recovering perfectionist, a recovering stress addict. I was addicted to stress, a recovering busy syndrome, many, many, many patterns that were distractions for me so that I did not have to feel the things I needed to feel to heal, right? I did not know consciously yet until I started this journey 10 years ago, all the things that were running in my subconscious mind and the
Mhm.
trauma stories and the trauma, the generational trauma I needed to heal. I had no idea. And I was running from that, right? So I'm very, very grateful to have this in my own lifetime, to have experienced this and to know this, to be aware of it and to be able to heal it. So with knowing that, how could I not share it? And so that's why I'm on
Right.
fire and I teach the things that I teach, because I feel like it's my responsibility to share this. And so the more people that we can equip with these certifications or go through this journey, this healing journey, the more people we're going to heal in the world, because you have to heal yourself first, and then you can help others heal, right? You have to
Right.
go through the journey. You can't take somebody any deeper than what you've gone yourself. And so if you're going to be a teacher, I definitely invite you. And even if you're not, right? If you choose not to be
Mhm.
a teacher, that's okay. Because guess what? You're still helping to heal the world. You're healing your family. You're healing future generations by doing this work. And
Right.
so again, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, because this, that I could talk about this all day long, because I'm a living, walking testimony of it. So
And
that is
I
my
am
spirit.
too. I
And you
am too.
are too.
Like,
Right.
so I mean, my healing journey started a little bit before we met, but
Mm-hmm.
from when we first met till now, like I've
Mm-hmm.
done like so much work and I've like done so much healing. It's
Mm-hmm.
just been unreal. Like, yeah.
Now, it is a lifelong journey, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying that, you know, shadow work and yoga psychology work and mindfulness and meditation and all the things, right? The rinsing techniques, like all of this. Hey, Patricia. And you know what? Something I should have said when we started, if you all have any questions, please feel free to put those in the comments. I don't know why I didn't say this when we started, but if you have a question, please put it in the comments, or you can message us. You can message me directly, or you can message us on WiseMind Yoga, Yoga Psychology, Meditation, and Mindfulness Center is our business page, or you can share the question in the Facebook group. So those of us that are in WiseMind Yoga Psychology Soul Tribe, you can also put those questions in the comments too. So multiple different ways, or you can just set up a consult call with me. So again, it's wisemindyoga.com. You can see the information in the page there, or you can book a call from there, or you can do wisemindyoga.com/book. It's just the consultation page for those of you that have already looked at the page. I am super excited for Patricia to be part of WiseMind Soul Warrior as well. And congratulations, Patricia. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. Like, she's actually joining us from Colorado. So I am super excited to welcome Patricia into the program. So
And the
Archana.
other thing I wanted to say is that, like, piggybacking on what you said,
Mhm.
is just like alcoholism is a daily process or a daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
being mindful and being aware of your thoughts and emotions and all of that is a daily thing too. So
Mm-hmm.
just because you feel like you're now, oh, I finished this yoga psychology course and I'm all like I'm all knowing and I'm chill, and but that's not the case. Like it's a daily process, and you have to constantly remind yourself of what's important and all of
Mm-hmm.
that.
No,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Girl, I'm right there with you because, like you just said, even with all the healing work that we do, like you said, it is still a daily practice, right? Because if we don't continue with the daily practices, which is what we teach in the program, which is like super, super important, is having a daily sadhana practice
Mhm.
and a daily meditation practice. And even if it's 5 minutes, I mean, we would love for you to be doing 15 or 30, but even if it's 5 minutes, it makes a difference. And if you're not keeping up with these ways of staying grounded and staying, in the place of healing, you can somewhat revert back to old patterns. So you're not going to completely revert back because again, you've created these new neuron pathways, and so that's the science behind it, but you still have to keep up with these practices that are keeping you in a positive state of mind because the brain has a negative bias. And so if we don't continue with this positivity and the transformation and the change and the healing, you just have to keep it, like you said, you have to keep it going. And I wanted to share this. This is like one of my favorite oils. Do you see this? Is called Sun's Eye Healing. And this has rose and like all these different blends. And I don't have any partnerships with them. I'm not getting a like, kickback or anything from that. I just wanted to share that because that's one of my favorite, like that's one of the many, many tools that I use. And one of them is essential oils. So to keep me, in a positive mental health
It's
state,
called
right?
Sun's Eye Healing.
Yes, it's called Sun's Eye, and the name of it is Healing. That's the oil blend, and it's got rose in it and other peppermint and other essential oils that they put in here. But it's my favorite. It's actually Sun's Eye is based out of Orlando, I guess.
Hmm.
So
Well,
okay,
and I'm
go
a
ahead.
doTERRA rep, and
Oh,
I
okay.
can vouch for the benefits of essential oils.
Yes, I have. Look, here's my anchor. Right, I have lots of
Yes.
doTERRA stuff too. I also use doTERRA, but I'm not a rep. I definitely will attest to the quality of doTERRA. Like absolutely. Like here's my On Guard.
Hmm.
You see that? I've got my On Guard. Um, I've got cypress. I've got wild orange, which they have the best wild orange of anyone. And there's my wild orange. See? But I also just wanted to mention that, sometimes I will use stuff like here's Whole Foods peppermint, right? And it's as long as it's 100%, we don't want to use any kind of synthetic oils.
Hmm.
There might be some exceptions to that. Like there might be some that, but for the most part, we want to make sure we're using
Yeah,
not
I mean,
synthetic.
I use other oils too, other than doTERRA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I should have said that online, but I just said that.
It's okay.
But I like doTERRA because the oils are very pure and their
Mm-hmm.
supplements are amazing.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And
Um,
can I also just add one more thing?
sure.
When my dad was sick last
Mm-hmm.
like in the fall, he was getting very cold. So
Mm-hmm.
I looked online and saw like a doTERRA recipe that I could use, which was On Guard, um, oregano oil, and another oil. Right now, it's eluding my brain. And
That's
I
right.
rubbed it, and I put it on his feet, and I had
Mm-hmm.
him wear socks, and then
Mm-hmm.
I gave him hot water with On Guard and a little bit of honey, and
Mm-hmm.
I just put a little bit of a drop of orange wild orange thing just to give it some oomph. And he felt so much better, like
Mm-hmm.
just from me doing those two things for him.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Thank you for sharing that. So one last thing, and then we're going to get off here because I know we were trying to keep this at 30 minutes, but you and I could be on here for over an hour, but we're trying to keep it like, so we're not like starting to, people are like, okay, Jenny, okay, Archana, that's enough. Okay. So, tell me what your website is, because I also want to share your website.
Okay, it's yoga
Mm-hmm,
fusion, FUSION,
mm-hmm.
wellness.com.
Okay. So yogafusionwellness.com.
Yes.
I just shared that in the comments. And so that is Archana's website. And she, as you can see, she is a wellness and a yoga entrepreneur and business owner. And she also is a mentor for us. And so there's a lot of yoga teachers out there that are like me, where I've done this in the past, where I've coached for other entrepreneurs and other programs, right? And I've been a mentor for other programs. And I've also run my own, right? So the point is, like, for those of you out there that are wanting to try to start, supporting yourself eventually with this, that it can be a combination of working for somebody else and working for yourself. Maybe it's working a part-time job, or part-time mentorship, for example, because ideally you of course want to try to be working in your industry if possible, right? So it was quite a gift for me to be able to work for another entrepreneur that was a yoga entrepreneur and to learn from her. And then for me to, have my own as well. So the other piece of it too is there's a lot of women in this program that are actually working full-time jobs. So I wanted to mention that there's a lot of women working full-time corporate jobs or running a business and being part of this program. So it's important for me to mention that, because I know that's one of the things where people are like, well, how am I going to find time for this? You will figure it out, just like I figured it out. Archana figured it out. Everyone who's gone through a yoga teacher training figured it out. So you will too. So if you have the desire and you're resonating, you're feeling called to do it, you will figure everything else out. You will figure out the finances. You will figure out the money, because guess what? I had to figure it out. I flew back and forth to Los Angeles for 2 years to do my yoga psychology training. So not only did I pay for the tuition, but I also paid for all the travel expenses to stay out there for 2 weeks at a time. And guess what? I figured it out. Okay. So the point is, you will figure it out if you feel called to do this. Okay. All right. So I am sending you all so much love, light, and blessing. I am so, so grateful for Archana and for every single woman right now who has stepped in to support me in this journey and to support me for WiseMind Soul Warrior. And I'm so honored to, again, be a guide, be a mentor, be a teacher, as best as I can for these ladies that are on our leadership team. Archana is one of them. And, just to continue to be here as a guide for all the students that are going to come. And we have been preparing for you. We have been meditating. I've been praying. Like, we have been preparing for this for months. Okay. So, and again, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Like, we've been preparing since February for the retreat that we're doing in July. So it'll be July 15th through 17th. And it is, I promise you, it is going to be life changing. One of the things I'll share, and then we're going to get off, is that we do something called a fire of transformation. And they're going to be building us this giant, like they have our own fire pit, right? It's like a circle of, we're going to call it like a sacred circle of sharing. And they have this like giant fire pit. They're building us, the big kind of fire, like the bond type fire, right? Because they do a lot of like camps and conferences and all different things on this property. And so each of you are going to be writing a letter of transformation of something that you're going to release. And so there's going to be a lot of like yoga psychology, yoga therapy type exercises that we're going to be implementing there. So it is going to be an active retreat, and you're going to write to whatever that samskara pattern is. So say, for example, it could be your perfectionist, or it could be some women wrote about they wanted to release anger, or they wanted to release resentment, or certain emotions they wanted to release, and wrote to those things, those emotions or those people or those patterns, those emotional patterns that they wanted to release. And then we burn it in the fire. And we stand again in front of everyone to do this. Now, there is no obligation to share. Everything that we do is always optional. We never, force anyone. But Anita shared about her experience in Asheville last year, that every single student stood up and shared and read their letter, because it created this like bravery, amongst the women in the circle, that everyone stepped up and shared and burned their letter. And it was, again, so powerful to stand back and watch. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. So Archana, again, thank you so much for you spending the time with us this morning, for taking time out on your Sunday morning to be here with us. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate, I know this was last minute trying to.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. And again, Archana's website is yogafusionwellness.com. So check her out on there, the things that she's doing with teens. And again, she works with students one-on-one. And with
kids.
And kids. Yeah. And she does do, maybe eventually you'll do more with like recovery work. So we'll have to talk about that sometime. But I think that would be definitely an area where a lot of people need some help. So I'm sending you so much love, light, and blessing. I'm going to let everybody go so we can get off here on a Sunday morning. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Again, if you have any questions for us, put it in the Facebook group, WiseMind Yoga Psychology Soul Tribe. Message us on the business page, or you can message me directly, or just set up a consultation call. Okay. All right. So we will see you all soon, and namaste. And again, I'm going to put this in the comments one more time. WiseMindSoulWarrior.com, and you can find information, and there's about 5 buttons where you can schedule a consult call from there. So I'm really going to go now. Namaste. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.